The next 2 months in cryptocurrency could be once in a lifetime, but before I get to that, I want to tell you guys a story on how cryptocurrency changed my life, but really by not taking action was one of the biggest lessons I learned in the 2020 and 2021 bull run. And this is so important because what is happening right now is 2024 and 2025, mark my words, will mimic the previous run, but I think the gains are going to be much better. So to really dig deep, let me tell you this story, because this will give you a lot of lessons on how you can take this going forward if it's your second bull run or maybe it's your first bull run. And again, by not taking action, I missed out on millions and millions of dollars. So I wrote this out, listen up, notepads ready, and let's dive in. So I remember the moment clearly, the night that could have changed everything for me in cryptocurrency. And this was back here, COVID crash. Everything was going crazy. People were mostly selling, but the smart ones were buying. And I unfortunately made that big mistake because I got in way later than way I could have. And it cost me about 600 grand just on Bitcoin alone. So the night you could have changed everything, it was the height of the C19 crash. Everything, stocks were going down, real estate was crashing. But moreover, cryptocurrency was going to zero, right? Everybody was selling their bags, but the smart ones, they knew that was coming. So the whispers of cryptocurrency were growing louder. And what I mean by this was the whispers of cryptocurrency going down 99%. And again, this is so important because you don't make money up here, guys. You make money down here. When there's always fear and FUD going around on this recent crypto crash that we just seen, this little mini crash, that is where you made the money. And I sniped that recent crash on Ethereum so beautifully. So I was doing well at this time, okay? I was scaling with my e-commerce stores, doing about 30 to 40K per month in profit, revenue of about 6 figures. And I made one massive mistake that cost me so much money, and that was I did not deploy when I was interested in cryptocurrency. That was pretty much when the crash was happening, because the thought of crypto to invest when you would check the charts and you're brand new and you see everything going down 10, 20, 30%, that's very scary. You don't check your bank account, you see $100,000 and the next day it's down at 70, the next day it's down at 50, then it's down at 45, then it's down at 30. You don't see that, right? It's pegged. But with investing, if you're invested in strong assets, you want to buy cheap. When those real estate house hackers, they look for cheap deals that they can refurb and make a profit. With cryptocurrency, you look for dips that you can get for cheap and strong coins that you can make a profit. You don't buy at peak prices because there's nothing left to be squeezed from that. All the money is already in and it's downward action. Because in the C19 crash, everybody had to sell. People were panicking, the shit was hitting the fan, nobody was interested. But the guys that knew about bull and bear markets, they bought. And that's just from experience. So I remember a dude called Alex Becker, you've probably heard of him. And he was plunging the world. He was talking about buying Bitcoin at 3, 4, 5K. And then he started to unload the boat. There was many videos of him. I don't know if he's still got them up on his channel. But that was when he supposedly started to buy. He could have not started to buy, but that is when he was interested. And I was on the same boat. The difference was, I remember sitting there with my girlfriend at the time. We're just glued to this Bitcoin chart and Ethereum chart. And she told me to go for it and make the leap. And I was pounding buy button. I had the Binance account ready, everything unloaded. And I just couldn't do it. I didn't pull the trigger. That's the biggest lesson and the biggest mistake. Obviously, I made more mistakes, and those are good lessons to take for this next bull run. But not pulling the trigger is so important when you know when the market is going long term. And it's not even long term. 1 year of your life, there's a 600 grand loss just on me and Bitcoin there, and I'll talk about that in a second. So, example, I could have bought Bitcoin, 10 of them, at 3K each. And that investment could have turned into 600K by 2021. And this is just Bitcoin, guys. If I was buying altcoins, you're talking millions of dollars. And I didn't. I sat on the sidelines watching the others that knew about this reap the rewards. And primarily, what really pissed me off was I just seen the chart going up and up and up and up. There was little hiccups along the way. But it wasn't until here, 17, 18, 19K, when I finally started to unload the boat. And the problem with that is, if you buy cryptocurrency, 1 Bitcoin at 19K compared to 1 at 3, you miss out on 6 Bitcoin per transaction because you're not using the dollar value then. It's how much the Bitcoin's worth. And that is so important because the end of 2020 came and Bitcoin was hovering around 18, 19K. And then I was obviously still scaling the stores, etc. Had about 100 to 120K to invest. And that is when I started to buy, cryptocurrency, primarily Bitcoin, Ethereum at the time. I remember two of my clients, Elias, still a friend of mine today, still scaling his stores in Dubai. And Samir was the really guy that got me on cryptocurrency. And the words that he said to me hit me like literally a ton of bricks. He knew the markets and he saw my hesitation, and he just told me, Jake, if you're not going to buy now, and this is the biggest lesson, if you're not going to buy now, you watching this video, you're never going to buy. Or you're going to buy when Bitcoin's 40, 50, 60k. You regret buying it because you've missed the opportunity to make real money. And again, the problem with buying late is there's nothing to be squeezed. It's only downward action. The bull market was over. And he told me that. And I was like, okay, I knew he was right. And I wish I could turn back time to buy at 3, 4k. I was watching Bitcoin and Ethereum just go up day after day after day. And I realized sitting on the sidelines, waiting for this perfect moment was a mistake. Because you can never time the markets perfectly. The best time to buy was yesterday. The second best time to buy was a week before. And then a week before that. And the people who make money in cryptocurrency, these guys understand. They understand bear and bull markets. They're committed and they invest consistently, no matter what the market is doing. It's the HODL DCA mindset. That is what cryptocurrency, especially in the large caps, is all about. The next 2 months could have been a game changer. Maybe the prices will dip, and that's really the title behind this video. The next 2 months, we don't know where the price is going. But we know the 2025 bull run is going to be fucking outstanding. Okay? And you get to decide if you buy today or you buy when Bitcoin's at 100k. That's what the position's about. You build up the position gradually, you work your job. For me, I was scaling that store. And then the market truly takes off and you're ready, or you're sitting on the sidelines buying the top. If I hadn't listened to Samir last night, I would have been one of those people scrambling to buy Bitcoin 50, 60k, like I said, when there's no money and there's no profits left. Instead, I learned a valuable action, and I want you to take this away, of not letting fear hold you back. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s even, you have so much time to make the mistakes. You've got unlimited time. Okay, once you get to 50, 60, 70, then you have to be risk averse. But if you're like me in your 20s and you are scared, good. You're supposed to be scared. Everything in life that has come good has been from scared. But you keep on the game because you know what you're getting invested in. So as I look at my portfolio now, watching it grow day by day, I knew I made the right choice to start this cryptocurrency journey. I've never looked back. So if you can take anything away from this story before we get into the main piece of potato of this content, don't wait on the sideline, guys. You're not going to find the perfect entry. Start now, even if it's small, because when the next bull run hits by 25, you are going to be glad you did it. And that is the biggest lesson I can give you. So here is what I like to look at when I'm researching a project, because this is very important, because you can buy the wrong coins, okay? You can't time everything right. We've just talked about timing is not important. You can't time the market. But if you buy all the wrong coins, it doesn't matter, because if these coins go to zero, you're fucking screwed. So I'm looking at answer before I invest. Most of the information becomes on websites, white paper, etc. So this is like an altcoin research checklist that I always like to go back. I can't remember who shared this chart. I think it's Secret Cycles of Crypto. But regardless of that, this is what I like to look at. I like to tick off as many of these boxes as possible. So we're going to talk about Solana in the last bull run, because this is one of the hottest narratives, and I still think it's a big narrative going forward. Obviously, I would change this with the base network. That's why I'm invested in Brett and some other base coins. But I look for, is it a hot narrative? Well, Solana was a hot narrative, right? And that was before the fire really started to start. Okay, hot narrative. Again, you decide when you want to buy, you get to, when you want to invest, and then you ride up the rest. So is it innovative? Well, yeah, it's very scalable. Destructive? Yes, it's so scalable. There's so many transactions. It beats Ethereum, so it was ticking a lot of these boxes. Is the team anonymous? Well, no. They have backers and partners. So again, what you start to do is you look at liquidity, you start to tick up all these boxes, as many as you can. How's the vesting period? Is the circuit supply increasing? Is there deflation? You tick off as many boxes, and if you can get about 6 or 7, you're usually on to a winner. If you can only tick off one of these boxes, don't invest in the coin. It's probably not going to do well. So again, Solana ticked most of these boxes in the last run, and lo and behold, that's why I had a great bull market. But if you sat in the sidelines, it didn't matter how many boxes you ticked off, because if you bought 250, you rid it all the way back down to 8 or 9 when FTX crashed. And again, the smart buyers knew this. They rinsed profits, they bought again, and they're up massively again. So what I also like to do is, when there's a big correction or a big market dump, is this shows to me, if people buy this dip up, and Solana was a perfect example, Ethereum was another one, this shows to me strength is not only on Solana, but it's really on the Solana ecosystem. And that's when you look at, okay, well, what are coins underneath Solana ecosystem? Maybe you look at meme coins, maybe you look at other coins, and if they have this similar, checklist, and you've ticked off a lot of these boxes, but if the dip has been bought massively, that's when I would really start to fucking unload the boat, with obviously caution, but that is what you're playing in cryptocurrency, because use this to find your next place. This is so important. So it's important to be diversified. Again, you can't be all in on the Solana. Some people are, and that's fine. They'll probably do well. But if you're all in on one meme coin, for example, like me and Brett, if I went all in on Brett, put in about 600k in Brett, that could pay out so handsomely. But what if it doesn't? I'll waste this 2025 bull run and I have to wait 4 years again till the next one. And it's just a waste of time, energy, and money. And that is infinite or uninfinite, right? We don't have unlimited time. You can always make more money, but I'm not here to waste time. So different narratives often pump at different times, and gains can be compounded for exponential profits. Multiply narratives increase projects' pumpability. So again, this was kind of the last bull run. We had DeFi really ticking off, and some of these will still do well. Ethereum killers, that's why Solana started to do well. You had scaling, Oracle is obviously gaming, Axie Infinity, decentralized mana, this sandbox. And what I would add to this, I would add memes. I think memes are going to be the biggest, bull run bag if you want to play in that category, but they're obviously more riskier. But you even had memes in the last run, Dogecoin, Shiba, Flocky, some other ones doing well, but you're really seeing memes, and that was one reason why I bought a lot of Brett, combined with the base chain ecosystem. And what you can do here is you can combine this with a rotation play. So when is alt season? Everybody always asks that. Don't focus on the date, but understand this money flow chart. It's so important. So during the phase of parabolic, meaning the first token takes the longest and goes the fastest, phase overlap can temporarily reverse, prepare accordingly. So again, in the last bull run, we've seen this. It paid out so well, and even in 2017, if you go back, Bitcoin would go first. Money would flow into Ethereum, but it struggles up to keep with Bitcoin. Ethereum goes back and forth, and people start talking about the flip then. Ethereum might flip Bitcoin in this, market cap terms. I'm not really interested. What I want to see is Bitcoin going crazy, 100k plus. Ethereum going crazy, 6, 7, 8k plus. Large caps going crazy. And if you want to play this game, this is where you make all the money. Memes are everywhere. Everyone's super excited, and you feel the mania in the air. But if you're buying at this point and you haven't loaded up the boat, it's too late. You're going to ride 80%, 90% haircuts, especially on some of these other meme coins that you're getting involved in. So a lot of questions, and here's the guy, Secret Secretary Crypto, shout out him. He talked about this, and it's about selling alts and what to do with the profits. And the answer depends where we are in the market cycle. Illustrated below on this graph. Compounding gains turn small investments into life-changing wealth. So what he means by this is, let's say you have your portfolio of bags, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 coins is good. You might have 10, you might have 15, but anything above 15 with under a 10k, bank rollover, I think is too spread, because it's just too much chasing, right? 8 seems to be the play for 10k and below. Maybe you'll ride it a little bit more, but regardless, if one of your own altcoin pumps, and I mean really pumps, you got two choices. You can either take the profits and sell to Bitcoin, and what you can do after that is you can buy another unpumped altcoin, because when the bull market hits, literally everything will go. Strong coins will just go. But what you can do is near the end of the bull cycle, you can sell Bitcoin for fiat, but you should always buy long-term Bitcoin, long-term Ethereum, in my opinion. You don't buy back altcoins, as they're going to have a brutal bear market. What you do is you can come back when Bitcoin crashed in the next cycle, 2026 or 7, regardless where that takes us, is that's when you can start unloading on these solid coins again, because when you build these positions and they're strong plays with good team, you're going to pay off handsomely. You don't do the opposite, because then you ride this coin down. It's very important that you understand this, because if you don't, all the hard work you do right now, you're just going to waste all this time. So why are the next 2 to 4 months so crucial? Well, what we can see here is there's a Bitcoin bull flag confirmation, and we're still obviously expecting consolidation between 49 to 60k in Q3. Why I say those numbers is, if you look at the historical returns of Bitcoin, Q3 is usually a bearish month. Once we get in September, October, November, December, give or take, what we can see is in 2020, that's give or take 2024, is where you get the massive gains. And again, you look at Ethereum, massive gains. Okay, and then what we look at is 2021's run. That's when we really expect massive gains. Again, Q1 of Bitcoin, huge gains. And the Q3 was obviously before the bear market hit. And then we really went, sideways. We were losing all the money. But you're selling by this point. And if you can understand this on Bitcoin, you transition that to your meme coins, your hot DeFi plays, your Solana ecosystem. And that's what you play. So Q3 is usually a bad month. But once we get in Q4 of 2024 and then Q1 of 2025, you should expect some great movements in Bitcoin, and then you play the rotation game, or you've already built up your plays. So again, this is what's happening right now. We could go all the way down to here, but I promise you 2025 is right around the corner, and it's illustrated right here. But what you have to do is build up your positions so heavily. If you're long crypto, why are you sitting for the perfect entry? Because again, you're going to be like me when I told you this story. The perfect entry, I promise you, it doesn't come. Yes, you can buy the dips with more cash if you did well in your job or your business in that month. But regardless, it shouldn't really matter. If you've got cash there right now and you're interested in crypto, yes, crypto's pumped back to 61k. Your altcoin might have pumped up 30, 40, 50%. But just build the position now, save some cash on the side, and you keep going.